All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching us from. This is Apam Spice. My name is Jonathan Apam, and I have with me Mr. Bismarck Masego. And this has been a long awaited live session where we anticipate to share with you strategies, livelihood, things we've gone through ourselves, and then it can also encourage you. Before we begin, I want to make a disclaimer that we are not in any way propagating all people in Ghana or Africa should travel outside of their country to Europe or any part of the Western world. We are not also demeaning the teaching job in Ghana or Africa. We want to only share life circumstances that hit very hard and also share strategies that we have been able to use to some way, somehow overcome them, or we've tried and it's overcoming some of those life challenges bit by bit. And somebody is saying no sound. Is that true? You can hear me clear, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so please check from your side, maybe. For me, the sound is very good. I'm monitoring and everything is fine. So, just like I said, we are not degrading teachers in Ghana. We are not trying to undermine teachers in Ghana. We are not trying to say everybody must travel from Ghana before they become successful. But we're just trying to share live experiences that my brother Bismarck has gone through and has got some experience to share so that people can also strategize their life. And I think it's going to be well with them. Mr. Bismarck, the long awaited life is here. Thank you for having you. How are you doing?
Oh, God has been good. Everything is okay.
Okay.
You know, we are in the snow city. The snow has covered almost everywhere. So, by God's grace, everything has been good, and I think we are so grateful unto God.
Yeah.
And I also want to use the opportunity to thank you for giving me the chance to be here. This is not a right; it's actually a privilege. I'm grateful.
Sure. It's not a right, it's a privilege. So I would like to let you know that people are joining in. My manager is here, Abusha. He says we should take it slow on them. We shouldn't take it too hard on them. So we are taking it very slow. It's not going to be hard, it's just going to be life changing and also resonating with most of us, our stories. I think that is what is going to happen. Yeah. And like I said, I'm going to say this disclaimer again. I, Apam Jonathan, I am a trained teacher. Bismarck is a trained teacher in Ghana. So we are not in any way demeaning the teaching job in Ghana. And we are not trying to articulate that everybody must leave the teaching job in Ghana to travel outside before they become successful. We are only just trying to share the life experiences that Bismarck has gone through, also myself, so that most of us who are also going through similar challenges will be able to find our feet. That's just what it's going to be about. So it's going to be life changing, life transforming, informative, and I think it resonates with most of us. So, Mr. Bismarck, first of all, in just a minute, I want you to give us a background story of you. So many people get to know where you've come from. Like that background story. Maybe, we always think that many people have some rich background, but they just try to hide from us. So we want to know. Just a minute, in a minute.
Thank you so much, my brother. Let me start by saying that, as you have already indicated,
We
we
are
are
only
teachers,
just
so
going to
we
share.
are just going to share our experiences with our colleagues, those who are going to join the profession or those who have recently joined the profession, to know how to step their foot. We are not here to talk about maybe the ills, maybe ills, how bad the profession may be or whatsoever. We are not here to do that. In case we are here to do something of that sort, we will rather say things that will help the profession to be better.
Exactly.
Let me start by saying that I was born in Butabe, in KGB district of the Oti region in Ghana.
Okay.
I started my basic education from Butabe EP Primary School, where I stopped at P4, and my parents transferred me to Kwasi Cement EP Primary, where I started from, or I continued from P4 to P6.
Okay.
From there, I moved to Kwasi Cement LAGHS. So in early JHS, that's where I sat for my BEC.
Okay.
So from there, I moved to Mafi Kumasi Secondary Technical School to continue with my West African Senior School over
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
I got to Form 2 or second year, and I took another transfer
I
from
see.
there to Peki Senior High Technical School. So I sat for my West African Senior School Certificate examination in Peki Senior High Technical School, or I completed Peki Senior High Technical
Okay.
School. From there, I went to Akachi College of Education, the great college in Ghana. So I completed Akachi College of Education,
Okay.
and automatically Ghana Education Service has absorbed us. So I began teaching. I was actually posted to Have Haji Dekope Primary School.
Hey.
I was there for 2 years, and I also I sought for release to Pando. Once
Okay.
I was in Have Haji Dekope, I got admission to University of Cape Coast, where I read mathematics education.
Wow.
So I was at Pando doing my normal teaching before before God called me and said, "My son, the time has come." So
Okay.
from there, I moved to Canada, where I'm currently studying at York University in Toronto.
Okay.
Briefly, that is my background
Okay.
story.
So I want to know so that I can connect my life with yours, or some people can also connect their lives with yours. How was your life from the background? Were you from a rich place? Were things working well? Were things not going well? How was the background like? Like if
Oh,
you want to give a perspective.
okay. Actually, my parents are just farmers. My dad
Okay.
was a farmer. He's a cocoa farmer. My dad was a palm wine tapper in Kwasi Cement or in Butabe. And
Okay.
my dad, my mom is also a farmer. My mom also does the same farming. So actually, I wouldn't even say we are middle class. If there is any other class I can use to describe it, I would even say we are lower class people. Starting life wasn't easy. We were born in typical village. That village could be described as this is scattered settlement. There was no pipe-borne water. There was no electricity. There was no police station. There was no clinic. We actually have to even walk from where our home was or where our house is. We have to move from there to the main, the center of the village. We move like an hour and a half to school to seek basic education from the main Butabe itself. Because we were in Aguabo, so we have to move about 1.5 hours to Butabe EP Primary School. So when I was actually moved to Kwasi Cement LAJHS, that one is over 2 hours. Typical background. My parents, but even though they've been able to take care of my education, but I can say they are really poor people. I'm from a poor background. Somebody will say I'm from challenging background. So that has been it.
I see. I see. But you have taught for, 10 years, if not more, right, in Ghana. You've taught in Ghana for about 10 years. And being a teacher, you know what the circumstances are. I would like to really know, how was your livelihood or your living condition like within those 10 years and even after those 10 years? Like, how was your living condition like as a teacher who has been teaching for 10 years, within the 10 years or even 5 years, 6 years, 7 years? How was the living condition like?
My brother, in actual fact, if there is any way that you can help me, I'll say it was worse. Mine wasn't bad, it was worse. Because when we started teaching in 2013, we were put on scale in 2014. I still
Okay.
remember vividly, my first gross salary was 1,173 Ghana cedis, 26 pesos. That was my gross salary.
1,126.
1,173 Ghana cedis, 26 pesos.
Okay.
That was our gross salary. So when they finish taking normal taxes and those things, we'll be taking something like 900 plus Ghana cedis. When they started paying us, I took loan in, I think within 2 months, I took my first loan to start a business, thinking I could be making some small money from the business to supplement what government was paying me. That couldn't work well. So I did a lot of refinancing of loan and all those things as time goes on. It got to a point in time, the next salary I received was below 300 Ghana cedis.
Jesus.
Life became so unbearable. I was virtually depending on taking small money from people and other things. Sometimes I even go to school with no money in my pocket. When I was in Pando, I have some of my mates, somebody like Madam Mokpokpo, Madam Camila. Sometimes I take 5 cedis from them to buy food. Life was really bad, my brother. Life was really, really bad. I always have to use certain life-touching stories to be able to get monies from some people to manage. Life was really bad, my brother. And if you could, I don't know if those who are watching, if they can cast their minds back, 2014 salaries was increased by, I think, 12%. 2015, government didn't increase salary. They only gave a COLA of 10%. Life has been like that. Life wasn't the best. So I was just living below, I don't know if I should say average, or I was just trying to manage myself so that the world or people in the community wouldn't know that this guy was actually going through tough moments. So that was how life happened.
But in the midst of all of these life happenings that were tough, like you just went into teaching, you thought you could act smart a bit, take some loan and start a business, and it didn't work out, and you ran out of money and went into financial crisis a bit and all of that. Did you have some dreams? Like, were you in the midst of dreams? Like, did you have some thought-provoking dreams for the future, for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years? And in that circumstance you were, finding yourself, how were your dreams looking like to you?
Let me start with the dream aspect. In actual fact, I had admission to study civil engineering and building technology at the Hope Polytechnic in 2010. Unfortunately, the Akachi College admission came, I think, 2 days before the Hope Poly one came. And my parents were able to struggle to pay my admission fee to Akachi College of Education before the Hope Poly one came. So I have no option than to abandon that civil engineering dream. When we were in Akachi College of Education, our Dean of Student Affairs, Mr. Nyaji, during one of our classes in second year, he just gave us an advice that when he started teaching, his first salary was 200 and something cedis, those days cedis that they used to use in Ghana.
Okay.
And he kept the money in his chobos. After school, he'll come and see the money thinking, oh, he has got big money and he was going to make a lot of money from the profession. And as time goes on, he realized that no, it wasn't working well. He used that experience to tell us that those of us who were in college thinking we wanted to make money, he wanted to tell us that college wasn't the best place, or as a teacher, you were not going to be rich. Or if we could put it in a plain language, being a teacher doesn't pay well. So those of us who truly wanted to make money, we should rather seek opportunities in other sectors. When I heard that, it's like my dream was shattered, because this is a young man who was actually first generation in my family. First generation, you know what I mean already. And my dad told me that, oh, he doesn't want me to be in the same situation he found himself. So when the teacher told us that, in fact, I was sad. So the first thing I deduced from that was that I wanted to do business.
Okay.
That made me to take loan to start a business. When I started the business, I was thinking that the business was going to boom. I had a dream of going into real estate, putting up houses, renting to people, and what have you. I intend doing that. Now, one of the things I had also wanted to do was to set up a pharmacy. I wanted to set up a pharmacy and be selling those type A, type B, and all those drugs. But when the reality actually hit on me, all those dreams were nowhere to be found. I was miserable. There was nothing I can do. So it's like having high dreams, having high hopes, and you are actually far from those dreams that you intend to accomplish.
Yeah.
So I was just lost in the wilderness.
And I think at this moment, a lot of teachers, a lot of nurses, a lot of government workers in Ghana, most of us with big dreams, we want to come out of poverty, we want to change the status quo. We are in that deep, most of us are in that deep pit right now. Now, my question is, how did those dreams, I mean, even though those dreams were shattered, right? What would you say was the impact of poverty in your life, chasing your dreams? Did poverty really affect your dreams, and how did it?
Thank you so much. Let me say this. In Ghana, based on what I have been able to experience, there are 3 ways of choosing profession in Ghana.
Okay.
Those who choose profession based on passion, those who choose profession based on the financial capabilities, what they could get from, or the remuneration from that business or from that profession, and the third one is what is available.
Okay.
I just told you that I had wanted to study. I had admission.
Can you repeat that for me, please? Can you repeat those 3 for me?
I'm saying that based on my personal opinion or perspective, there are 3 ways in which people choose profession in Ghana.
Yes.
The first one is people choose profession based on passion. The second one is the remuneration, the financial remuneration, how rich people are, how lucrative that profession is. And the third one is what is available. I had admission to study civil engineering and building technology in Hope Polytechnic. I still have that admission letter in 2010. What happened? My parents were not able to send me to Hope Poly. What they said was that go to teacher training college, there is allowance, and after I have completed, there is job. So instead of going to Hope Poly to study civil engineering, based on my background, I have to choose what was available.
God.
You see, that is the first impact of coming from a poor family. If you are from poor family, you may have dreams, but you can't do anything. You need money to be able to chase money. That has been the first impact of me coming from a poor family, coming from that challenging background. That has been the first one. So that's
man, I'm depressed.
Yeah.
I'm depressed. That last statement, what is available? See, there are so many smart poor people. Smart, like when we say smartness, when we say people with passion, when we say people with talent, but they would die with the talent, they would die with the smartness. Exactly. Because you cannot get to choose what fits that talent. What fit that talent may be so expensive, you cannot afford it. And at the end of the day, what would have made your life better? Because of the same poverty, you will still be driven in that same poverty.
Of course.
May God help us. May God help us. Amen. But you see, and that's why I keep telling people that we have no option than to find any legal and better ways to remove this thing called poverty. And it's the same thing that our families have gone through and just looked at it, and we are also in the same pit. You have completed school with your colleagues. Before you know it, they have masters in MBA. Before you know it, they have masters in architecture. Before you know it, they are doing well. They are engineers, even though they were supposed to be teachers like you. Some of them are computer engineers. Some of them are IT specialists. Why? Because they were able to afford it. Their parents were able to afford it. I just hope God helps us. But you see,
based on what you are saying, based on the experiences I have had, I've come to realize that if you are somebody who wasn't born with a powerful surname, you are somebody who wasn't born in financially good background, you are somebody who wasn't born with a superhuman brain, you are not somebody who is extremely intelligent, I can give you 100% guarantee that you are from a poor background.
Yeah.
Irrespective of how smart you are, to be able to accomplish your goals, it's possibly you may accomplish it in your grave, because you need money as somebody who is coming from challenging background to be able to pay your admission fee at the university. You need not less than 10,000 to be able to go to university today. Just imagine somebody from a poor background who has 8 A's or 6 A's or what have you. You need money to be able to do this. So if you are not from these three these in categories I've mentioned, from you are having strong surname, you are born in a good family, you have superhuman brain, my brother, you're just going to struggle.
Yeah.
And people in your community will be seeing you as somebody who is useless. But in real sense, you are not useless. It's just unfortunate that you are not having money to pursue your dreams.
True.
It's just so bad.
True.
So those of us who are coming from this background, we can't be normal. We can't behave in a normal way. We need to go beyond, or we need to behave beyond people who are.
Have I lost Bismarck? I don't know if I have lost Bismarck. But let me take this comment.
I'm here. Thank you. Somebody tried calling me. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
So I was just saying that if you are not from those places, you can't afford to be normal. You need to behave in extremely aggressive manner in making money.
Good.
You need to be somebody who should be well focused on changing the status quo of your family. You need to be somebody who should be willing to break the glass. You need to be somebody who break the glass and have bruises on your body, have wounds on your body to be able to change the financial status of your family. If not, I can give you 100% guarantee that family background will persist until the kingdom comes.
Man, I want to ask the next question, but let me read this comment. He said, from Mr. Moate Benjamin, he said, 3 ways of choosing profession. 1, passion for the profession. 2, the remuneration from the profession. And 3, what is available, according to Bismarck Masego. So he has taken this summary from your this. Queen Kalin says, you are indeed gold in dust. Mr. Manzouk, my great brother, he says, great discussion. Thank you very much for joining. Achu says, accomplish your goals in the grave path. God have mercy on us. So I think people are following and sharing their comment. But I would like to ask, in the midst of all of these, I think poverty force or compel a lot of we from the middle, lower, and poor background to make major mistakes in our life. Because of poverty, you want to take a certain decision, but there is no financial muscle, just like we discussed. What would you say were some of the major mistakes, if you would call it, let's say, unfortunate errors, that impacted your life so badly in these years of struggle?
I need to be very blunt here.
Okay.
Number 1, when I had wanted to start a business, I need to seek for advice. I have never done that. I just thought that this is a young man government started paying salary to. I just went to the bank and took my first loan. And I used the loan to set up the business. That was the first error. Error number 2, when I started with the business, things were not picking up.
Yeah.
From 2014 to 2016, that was 2 years. Do you know what I did? I went to the bank again and did refinancing. So, in Ghana, if your loan has a 4-year duration, once you finish paying 50% of the loan, you can go for another one.
Yeah.
Then
yeah.
I went for refinancing.
So you were digging deeper.
Yes. So I went for refinancing to be able to get some money to inject into the business. That was another great mistake I did. Now, you see, I indicated that those of us who are from poor background, we choose profession based on what is available. Now, after going to the training college, because that was what was available, when we were posted as newly trained teachers, I need to have at the back of my mind that I went to training college because my parents were not having money to pay my fee at the whole polytechnic. So the first thing I need to do was that I'm supposed to start saving.
Yeah.
Save money for 1 or 2 years. Be able to have at least 5,000, 10,000, and go back to see this in the dream I had wanted to pursue after senior high school, going to go polytechnic. So I need to buy form and go to polytechnic to chase my passion now. I haven't done that. I abandoned that dream and did my degree in education.
Even though you knew that was not the dream.
Yes.
And this is one of the things I made a video about 2 years ago.
Okay.
People insulted me a lot, but I think it boils down to some point. Just before you continue, I said that many of us who went to the teachers training colleges, if you, I did not do any research. This is just an assumption. It could be right, it could be wrong. But if it is right, or if anything to go by, you could see that about 80% of us in the training colleges are coming from lower class or middle class or, poor background.
Very true.
It presupposes that that was not our dream, but something forced us there. Now, the system has engulfed us and put our hands behind our backs.
Very
So
true.
when you are done, they tell you we have had some 2-year or 2.5 program. You just do and we just give you degree, and then you are sinking deeper. So before you know it, you have sunk deeper into something you didn't even like. Progress.
So when I was on the field, I knew not to do a degree in education because that wasn't part of my dream at all. I need to buy form and pursue my HND at the Polytechnic or perhaps go to KNUST to go and read my civil engineering. I have abandoned that. And based on what you have said, I know some teachers are watching. I'm sorry to say that when you go to Ghana Education Service, I taught at the basic level. When you go to basic schools in Ghana, there are some teachers that I would describe as condemned prisoners. You know why I say that? These were fine brains, smart people who have chosen profession based on what was available. When they came on the field, they have committed my error. Instead of pursuing their dream, they were quick to pursue degree in education. The system has captured them. Now, based on where they found themselves, they wouldn't be able to change their profession.
Yeah.
So they just wake up, bath, go to school, return, bath, go to school. They are only waiting for pension, go and struggle, and possibly die. So those teachers have no other option. They don't really have any expectation of leaving the profession. So it's like they are people who have been identified by the profession in which they found themselves. There is no way they'll be out. And those are some of the things that actually affected me. Because when I completed college and I began teaching, I was listening to teachers who have been captured by the system. They will tell you that, teachers, we sit in I don't know, in small groups. People are sitting on these
Under a
tables.
tree.
You are in the staff common room. People are under a tree, and what have you? What do they tell us? Oh, you are welcome. You see, those of us on this table, what we are doing is that we do susu. Every month, we give it to one person. This person has to buy land. This person also got this. This person also got that. And all of us here, we have our degrees. So try to buy form and also do your degree as soon as possible. We're listening to those people. That is also one of the errors that I have committed. And the last one I will say is that sometimes what we want to accomplish in life That should be the basis upon which we have to make certain choices in life.
Yeah.
It's actually very, very critical.
Yeah.
Your vision, the goal you are having, should determine how you do your choices, your selection, and what have you.
Yeah.
I also made another mistake by associating with people who do not have any intention of leaving the profession. So their thoughts, their perception, their mindset, and all
We're
those
static.
things were static. So those things were not things that would help us to improve ourselves, but we're just basically going to be like them. So that was one of the errors I have also committed.
My goodness. I think a lot of people are saying they said, what's available is where the question begins from. Somebody, this is from Ezekiel Kwanzaa, and this is from Honorable Will's Wisdom Marty. He said, the teachers who choose teaching with passion have also been castrated, like Teacher Kwajo. He's giving an example. Somebody saying, fascinating insights. Thank you. Ishmael, thank you for joining too. So much to learn here. Rita, my mentee, one of my mentees. Thank you very much for joining, Rita. So, you see, I think many of us who are teachers, we understand the things we are saying here. And like I said, we are not in any way undermining the teaching profession in Ghana. No. We are not saying everybody should run out of teaching. We are pointing out to the very mistakes that pin us into things we don't dream to be, and some of the things that we don't will not help us overcome the financial challenge we have in our lives. And that is just our intention in this podcast. Let me ask, okay, in all of these circumstances or all of these happenings, the things, the life beating up and down, some of the errors you are making and all of that, at what point did you gain your self-thought or consciousness that something was wrong or probably going wrong, and that if you don't change something in the next few years, you wouldn't achieve your dreams? At what point did you realize that?
At this point, I just pray to have the strength not to break down, but I'll try to manage it. You know, one sad thing about me was that I was in college when my daddy passed on. And that day, as if he knew he was going to die. My mom, based on what my mom told me, was that my dad was saying a whole lot of things. And the last word that came from my daddy's mouth was that he was leaving the family under my care. Did you understand that? Good. Now, so from 2013 that I began teaching to 2018, that was 5 good years. I was not even having a savings of 1,000 Ghana cedis. Life became so unbearable. My younger sister completed junior high school and was supposed to go to senior high school in 2017. And my mom and other people were saying there was no money, so she shouldn't go to senior high school. And I said, no, at least I'm working. Why should my sister complete junior high school and stay at home? Or possibly we sending her to go and learn trade. So I was the guy then. I said, oh, she should go to senior high school. We went for the prospectus and everything. Prospectus and things we need to buy was about 2,500. Can you imagine I wasn't having money? I have to go for loan of 3,000 to send my sisters to senior high school. That was the first thing that I realized. Number two, my brother, it's been over months. I wasn't able to, even those years that I've been teaching, there wouldn't be the end of any month that I can just send 500 Ghana cedis to my mom. Things were tough. And sometimes I have to depend on my sisters for money.
Yeah.
So I was still running the business. And a day I needed to pay some money to people I've taken loan from. They were doing some contributions. So somebody took a loan for me. And that day is supposed to be the last day. Pressure was on me. And the person was calling me. I was in school. The person was calling me. The pressure was great in such a way that I just have to go home. When I went home and I reached my room, I just sat on the bed and I told God that I knew He was not going to disappoint me. I knew I was going to get the money and pay. So I just lie on the bed. Just like some 2-3 minutes, somebody was calling me. Then I woke up and saw that a friend, Pat, I don't know if she's watching. Pat, I don't want to mention her surname. Pat was calling me. Then I picked the call. So, Bismarck, what's wrong? You didn't go to school. I said, no, I went to school, but I just returned. I just said I needed money to do something. So I've taken quick loan. I said it wasn't loan. I needed money. Then she said, how much? I said I needed 1,000. And say, am I sure I haven't taken quick loan and I want to pay back? I said no. So I've actually not taken any loan on from MTN. She said, okay. Then she hung up the call. Then I lied down. Like within 1 minute, I realized that somebody sent me a message. Let me see, Pat sent me 500 Ghana cedis. When I woke up, I was just, tears started flowing from my eyes. I said, so what was Pat doing before she was able to get this money and send to me as soon as possible? Within that time, I began to have a second thoughts about what was happening around me.
Yeah.
So I took the tough decision to just stop the business I was running so that I can go back and undo all the errors that I have committed so that I can start life on a new page. That was the basis upon which I decided to begin doing things differently.
So somebody is saying that the beginnings are mostly mistakes. The lessons here should drive us towards the best of life. Shout out to Bismarck Inspiring Program. Thank you very much, Victor, for sending in this message. And I think
Victor was my senior back in college.
Oh,
yeah, he was actually GESAM president when he in college. He was our senior.
Oh, I see. So Peter is saying very sad. Someone who is on payroll and can't afford 3,000 cedis. 3,000 cedis. Mercies. It's true. Most of us. Somebody says, Agbenyo Mauto. Agbenyo Mauto says this is very insightful and educative, and I think we have some of the comments coming in. He said, after choosing what is available, what should inspire us to get what is our passion?
Okay.
I think this question we have to address that because I was also going to talk about that. What should inspire us? At what point should we use what was available to now chase the passion? Can you say something a bit about
that? Why not? Already, once we have chosen what was available, we are now people who are gainfully employed. Let me put it that way. The first question we need to always ask ourselves is we need to do introspection. Okay. Ask yourself, the salaries you are taking every month, are you able to save? That is number one. Number two, are you able to use that money to manage yourself until the month ends? Number three, sorry, somebody was trying to call me.
Call you. Okay.
Number three, can you please hear me?
Yeah, I can. Go ahead.
No. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly, very clear.
No, I can't hear you.
Oh, really? Then kindly just disconnect and connect.
Can you hear me?
I think so, maybe. I can hear you.
Oh, I can't hear you.
So disconnect and connect back. Let's
Very good. No, I can hear you now. I can hear
All
you.
right. Okay.
Good. Number three, ask yourself. Number three, ask yourself, are you able to pay school fees for your children? Are you able to take care of your wife? Are you able to live like somebody who is working? Then finally ask yourself, is that what you intend to do? You see, one of the things that most of us don't ask ourselves is that, see, if you take about 90% of us who complete senior high school, we had the best of dreams in senior high school. Yeah. Ask yourself, what you are currently doing, is that what you intend to do?
It's not even 10% close to the dream.
So once these questions that I have asked, we are unable to provide answers. Let me just say a sensible answers to this question, then you should know that no, these things will inspire you to begin to chase your dream that you had wanted to pursue back in senior high school.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Because you see, the last time I was analyzing something, we just sit down and say, maybe it will get well. Maybe it's going to get well. You see, the government has a certain budget and they work with the budget every year. The government has a certain perceived value of what you are doing. Okay. That is not going to change anytime soon. If you look at the history of teaching, the history of nursing in Ghana, the history of most of the jobs in Ghana, over 10, 20, 30 years ago, workers have been fighting for better opportunities without getting it from the government. What makes you feel that at this point in time, unless, of course, that is your passion area? Otherwise, what makes you feel that you alone or at your time it's just going to change for Rosie? It's not going to change any soon or any better very fast. Somebody is saying, Alasan said, this is so inspirational. Many Ghanaian workers find themselves in jobs they never dreamed of, struggling to make ends meet, and in fields that do not align with their passions or aspirations. Poverty has locked a lot of talent. And I cannot agree. I cannot agree less to this. Inshiraba says we need to be educated well. I'm really learning a lot. Thank you very much, Inshiraba. I don't know if you were the one who made a certain comment or when I posted the link, but I will check that. We need more of this program here. I'm going to correct some mistakes I made soon. Great work, Apam. Thank you very much, Queen, for joining. Actually, the thanks goes to Mr. Bismarck, who has devotedly shared his personal life. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy sharing your mistakes. You know that.
Oh yeah.
It's just not easy. Many people would even accept to share their mistakes. Very tough.
Based on what you said, let me say this. Do you know one of the things that I've learned being a teacher? If you take or if you make an assessment of all the young people or the youth who are in teaching, many of us fail to accept that the profession isn't the best as we expected, or we have made a lot of mistakes. So it becomes so difficult to find solutions to the mistakes that we are committing.
Okay.
And based on something that you have said, you see, I haven't worked in any other institution in Ghana.
Okay.
But basic knowledge let me know that when you take like maybe the police, people who are in local government, people who work in the ministries or what have you, there are job descriptions for every position.
Yeah.
When you complete teacher training college on diploma, you are put on a rank of senior superintendent 2. After 4 years, you go to senior superintendent 1. After 4 years, you go to principal superintendent. After 4 years, you go to assistant director 2, assistant director 1. You see that? The teacher who has just been posted on senior superintendent 2 does the same job as the teacher who is on assistant director 2. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
That is the genesis of our problem. There is no job responsibility or there is no job description for each of the ranks in Ghana Education Service.
Yes.
Now, let's take police. Let's take police for example.
Yes.
When you complete police training, maybe you are on constable, you are a constable. If you are a constable, your duties are different from somebody who is how do they even call them? Corporal. There is a difference in terms of role as somebody who is what a sergeant, as somebody who is chief inspector. So until in GAS, each of our ranks have certain specific roles that you need to play. They wouldn't pay teachers properly.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest mistakes in GAS. When you go to even district assemblies, somebody who is an accountant, his roles are different from somebody who is chief accountant.
Of course, that's how it's supposed to be. Yes.
So each of the ranks come with what their responsibility, with their allowances. So if you are not on this rank, you can't be appointed to this position.
Yeah.
If you do not have these experiences, you can't be here. But in GS, it's not like that. Somebody who has been teaching for the past 30 years and is on assistant director 1, somebody who completed training college today will be performing the same responsibility as that person. So there isn't going to be better condition for teachers.
Yeah, it's true. I need to read this comment. This comment from Mr. Amoate Benjamin. He said, after pursuing the degrees, you will come back and will not be placed on the right scale. Like you just said, trying to get some funds to upgrade your skills is another hell you will go through. I can say that I choose to teach because it was my passion. But teachers are not respected and not given what is due them. We are suffering. I want to finish reading that. Where is it? The comment is trying to miss me.
Yeah.
Okay, he said, I can say that I choose. Okay, yeah. Teachers are not respected. And okay, he said, we are suffering. Look at the gargantuan money CEOs of government companies are taking. Oh, God help us. And just like you said, someone is saying, I told you I will join. Okay, I'm leaving this comment here for, okay, thank you for joining, bro. This is a good program. It will help us, we the young one teachers, or we the young teachers to take proactive steps. And that is exactly what we want to achieve. What should you do if your passion not making your better life? Already we've answered that, but maybe we will come
But you see, people need to acknowledge that if you have chosen your profession based on passion, most of the jobs that we do based on passion do not pay well. Unless you are lucky, and you have chosen the best one.
Yeah.
Now, if you have chosen a work based on passion, you should also be somebody who will choose another profession based on what? The remuneration, the money involved, how lucrative it is. Then you can balance it. Because if you have chosen something based on passion, it means that you're going to be, your soul will be satisfied.
Will be satisfied.
Be satisfied because you are doing what the soul likes. But it goes beyond your soul. So you need to do something that can keep you well, can help you take care of your family, can help you accomplish your goals. So you must equally choose something that will give you a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we need to balance the two. Don't just choose based on your passion. Choose as well based on the how lucrative the profession is.
That is true. And I have one of my big brothers, Prince Osei. I see you live. He said, I'm watching from Techima in Bono. Thank you very much for joining. Our Bismarck, you are opening our minds and eyes. Agbenyo Mauto says so. Thank you very much. So I would want to go further, okay? Would you say most of the bad impact in your life, okay, in your living conditions over those years we were talking about, were as a result of your own wrong decisions or system, let's say, somewhat failed you, or let's just say sometimes life has up and downs? What would you say about that?
I'll pick two out of what you have said. Okay. One, they were my own wrongdoing. They were my errors. Nobody in Ghana Education Service has asked me to go for loan to set up a business.
Sure.
Nobody in Ghana Education Service has actually asked me to be doing this unreasonable refinancing that I have done. See, now, the second thing is that the system has also captured me. The system is also as a result, to be sincere with you. You see, we make references to the system. System is not something that is in Accra, whilst I was in Rotary. Systems are structures within your profession that limit you from accomplishing your dreams. You know why I said that? Now, when I completed I did mathematics. Okay. I've applied for a job in Ghana Statistical Service. To be sincere with you, I was thinking that because I had mathematics background, I was going to be considered.
Yeah.
But one of the limitations of the system in Ghana is that once I had education or I had a degree in education, I can only work in the educational sector.
Yeah.
That degree cannot be used to work in any other sector. But we've forgotten that when you take our curriculum, we have general objectives as well as specific objectives.
Yeah.
The general objective talks about the totality of what you are expected to know. Then the specific objectives talk about the specific content, the specific knowledge, the specific skills that you need to acquire. You see, in most professions in Ghana, even you and I, what we were taught at the teacher training colleges, we don't apply most of those things in the classroom. We came to the field and learned most of the things that we apply today.
It's true.
Even
It's
teachers
true.
who are watching.
It's true.
So that is one thing that the system has failed to acknowledge in Ghana. That you are a teacher, you can equally get job in the banking sector. I know friends of people who work in the banking sector at the university. They have not read banking and finance.
So if I'm not cutting you short, but if I understood you, the system has trained us holistically, if I should say, such that they should have recognized that even if I have mathematics in education, it is highly possible for me to be trained in Ghana statistics.
Why not?
It is possible for me to work in the bank.
Why not?
However, the system is confining us to one particular area. You are a teacher, so be the teacher.
Exactly.
And that's why if you look at it, you realize they have, after college, they have also segregated a certain, a certain curriculum or program, which is 2.5 years for you to do a top up and remain.
I'm actually building my point to come
Go ahead,
because I'm talking about the system.
Go ahead.
See, so that is why in Ghana, commercial bank, when they employ them, they send them to their training school for them to be trained. Ghana Water Company will send you to their training school to be trained. They need to train you on specifics of what you are coming to do. That is not in Ghana Education Service. That is the failure of the system I'm trying to arrive at. Number two, you see, our leaders are so smart. They knew that if they use the system to suppress us, there wouldn't be any way we can rise up to challenge the status quo. In 2007, if my memory could set me right, President J. Kufuor introduced some curriculum for teachers. He introduced this sandwich program. He introduced this distance program. That is part of the system to limit us. I'm here to see any teacher who has finished his sandwich program, his distance program, his whatever the 3 months semester program, 5 months semester program, and use that and based on that to be teaching at the Polytechnic. No. So many of us will complete these sandwich, distance, whatever programs, and will remain at the basic school. Most teachers have finished with their masters under these programs. The best they can do for you is to send you to senior high school, number one. Number two, they give you some position within the Ghana Education Service.
Just lock you up there.
Lock you up.
And just lock you up there.
These are the system failure or the system's limitation that I was trying to allude to. That these two things.
So how do we fight this as individuals? Not fighting the system, okay? Not about fighting the system, but as individuals. For example, let's say I would wish to be a nurse, but now I'm a teacher. I would wish to be a banking teller or something, but now I'm a teacher or I'm a nurse. I'm just hiding myself in this particular job. You understand?
Yeah.
How do we find a way, like individually, myself, let's say myself, for example, how do I fight that since the system doesn't allow? Because if I take my certificate to go and look for nursing, they will say I don't have nursing background. If I take my certificate and going to look for any other job, they may say I don't have that. How do I fight this as an individual?
My brother, you see, one of the things that we fail to acknowledge is that most of us as teachers, we don't plan.
Okay.
We don't plan. You see, those who go to war and win the war, they are not those with the best strategies.
Yeah.
They are people who are flexible to change their strategy, adjust their strategy to be able to overcome their opponent. One of the things that we can do, especially those of us who are choosing profession based on what is available, if you go to Akachi College of Education, make sure they transfer you to Accra. Make sure they transfer you to Ho. Make sure they transfer you to Tamale, Kumasi, all these big cities that there are universities. There is a teacher who was my senior in college. Do you know what he did? When he completed college, he was posted to Ho. Fortunately, UHAS was how will I even say it, established.
Okay.
He's a teacher, but he has BSc in nursing now. He left the teaching profession. He's now working as a nurse. Did you see that? So we need to be strategic about it. We need to plan.
Yeah.
That is one of the things that we can
Just like you said, if you had saved calm and saved some money and you went back to your engineering background, maybe by now you would have been an engineer.
Of course, I would have been an engineer.
Yeah.
And I would have been doing far better. Perhaps even if I were to have the engineering background and I came here, I could be doing much better. Because engineers are paid well. Cars are manufactured here. See, and the construction sector here is different ballgame altogether. I could be doing much better compared to coming here with education background and a whole lot of things.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bismarck. We progress. You see, now I want to move to the interesting part.
Okay.
What I call the interesting part is that most of the times we talk about the problems, we talk about the situations, the mistakes, the errors, and we somehow don't provide realistic solutions.
Okay.
But in your case, you have been able to maneuver your way out of it. So you are a best example when it comes to we providing solutions to the problem, right?
Okay.
Now I want to ask you, what are some of the remarkable steps you took to get out of this situation to where you are now? Even though I'm not saying your life is now rosy, everything is going right, there could still be problems, but at least you've managed to exit that situation. How did you do that? Take us through.
I think at this point, whoever knows a man who is called Sedo Israel, Sedo, we call him Grandpa. Grandpa is the reason why I am here.
Okay.
Sometimes we need to talk to people. Sometimes we need to be friends with people who are at levels that we envisage to be. When I've made that decision that things were not moving on well, it was one afternoon. I just decided to go to the shop when the guy who keeps the shop for me was about to close, and I told him to give me the key. I took the key from him. I went home, and the following day he called me. I told you we're not going to open the shop. I paused all those activities, all those things I've been doing. I paused them. That has been the first remarkable thing I have done. I paused that. Then the man I'm talking about as Grandpa, when he came to our house, I've been talking with him. He is the one who even made me to change my name to Masego. In college, everybody knows me to be Chief Onabinke. He was the reason why I changed that name to Masego. So when we were talking that day, I told him I wanted to set up a fueling station in the future. Then he jokingly said, for me, he knows me to be somebody who is visionary. But sometimes I say things that makes him see me as somebody who wants to pursue things that poor people have been chasing. Then I said that, he said, if I truly want to set up a fueling station, then I should rather be somebody who will be importing oil into the country. Then I said, that's great. How would I do that? He advised me to take up international education. That day when I got into my room, I just told myself, yes, this is what I've been looking for. Now, based on that, I just used my phone. I had admission to study chemical engineering at St. Petersburg University in Russia.
Russia, okay.
Yeah. How was I able to do that? I just sat down and I asked myself, from 2014 to 2018, that's about 4 years, right? Or from 2013 to 2018, all that I have done, the teaching, everything was zero cost. It was because I was useless. I wasn't having money to do anything. Then I told myself, all those loans I have taken didn't bring any benefit. I knew teachers who have taken loans to marry. The marriage crash. I knew teachers who took loan to buy land. The lands are sitting idle there. Teachers who took loan to rent houses. The houses, the rent expired. They have to take another loan. If all these things are happening, I can take a drastic risk or a drastic measure to pursue something.
Yeah.
So at that point, I told myself that I needed to start afresh. So I began to pursue a different agenda. That is the second thing I have done.
Yeah.
The third thing was that one day we were in school. Then I told myself that, oh, I can still go back to Hope Poly to read my civil engineering. So the following day, I brought the admission letter. I took my WASI certificate. I took my diploma certificate, transcript, degree certificate, and transcript. We came to school and I obtained permission from the headmistress. And I went to Hope Poly that day. I went to administration. I met the administrator. I showed him the admission letter that was given to me in 2010. I gave him all the other credentials that I have had. I told him that I want to come back and read civil engineering. Then he said, based on this thing he has seen, they can still offer me admission. But I need to be running the program as a full-time. They can consider me to be coming and be going. I went home and I said, no, with this, I'm going
You
to
cannot
run that
afford
program. I can afford it. So I wanted to pursue. Then I came back. I said I wanted to pursue this.
So now you were now struggling to restructure.
Of course.
To restructure.
Oh, yes, of course. So at that time I was thinking of restarting, to refocus my direction and to restructure as you have indicated. I just needed a new beginning.
Yeah.
That was the best decision I have made. That decision actually brought me to where I am now. It has been the best decision I have done.
And you see, guys, I know you are listening. We have not made it. See, me myself, I'm struggling. My brother is also struggling to take some steps. Okay, we are not saying we have made it, but let's be honest to ourselves. At a point in time, if you would make any move or if anything will work for you, you've got to pause whatever is going wrong first. If you don't pause what is going wrong first and re-strategize, just like Bismarck is saying, you will keep digging into that pit until you find nothing in that pit.
Yeah.
Just like I was sharing with you, I met a guy who was saying, these are the prices we pay for the better future we want. And I told him, yes, it's true. But if you're not so careful, you can pay that price till you die. And you find out there was nothing good in that price you were paying.
Of course.
You see, so let's be realistic about that. But this man, given the financial situation you found yourself at the time, given the humiliations life had given you and all of that, how were you able to figure out a way out to travel to study abroad? I mean, we are not teaching how to travel abroad, but I'm interested in knowing, and I'm sure some people are also interested in knowing, what were the mechanisms? How did you raise money? What were some of the things you did to raise money to come out of that situation, to be able to, take those moves? It's something that I think I would want to hear.
One of the best things God has done for me was to give me the realization that afternoon that something was actually going wrong. I went for the key and I closed the shop. I closed the shop in 2018.
Okay.
Early part of 2018.
Ooh.
I closed the shop. The whole of 2018, I was not doing anything. Closed from school, back home to school. One of the things I've also done is that I disassociate myself from a lot of my friends. I was doing that introspection.
Yeah.
From school, home, school, just thinking of what to do. The whole of 2018, I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't taking any loan. I wasn't buying any dress. I wasn't buying any shoe. If anybody is watching who sells dresses from 2018 to 2020, I bought dresses from some people once in a while. I want to look good. All those people, we fought before I was able to pay. We fought because I was not taking any other loan. The reason why I was doing that was that I want all the loans to finish on my payslip.
Yeah.
I took some loans on payslip and I took loan from the bank. I want all those loans to finish. Then I can have a breathing space. That was the best decision I have taken. Now, whilst I was waiting for the loans to finish, I think December 2019, because my loans will finish in April 2020. December 2019, that was when the man came to the house and told me to go for international education. So I just waited for all the loans to finish. Then I had a briefing space. Then I began to take the steps. Now, one of the things that also worked for me was that when our headmistress was leaving the school, a point in time, the assistant headmaster left. So they appointed me as the assistant headmaster.
Hey, Hedy.
So when the headmistress was finally going on retirement, she called me one fateful Saturday to come to the school. Then she was telling me her life story, how she struggled, taught for 39 years, blah, 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 and all those things. And she told me to leave the profession. She told me to leave. And her last word was that success starts after failure. That was what she told me. So when she left, I was still in the school. Then one day, there was one fire service officer. His name is Tanko. He came to the school and was speaking with some of the teachers on the staff that one of his children wasn't doing well. So he needed an English teacher to teach him reading.
Wow.
Fortunately, I was the one handling the class. So they asked him to come and see me. When he came, I said, I don't do extra classes. So they said, no, he's pleading with me to teach his son. Then I took his number. I called him. I said, I want us to meet. So we met. He asked me to come to his house. I told him that I'll teach the son this in just twice in a week. And in each engagement will be an hour. He'll pay me 200 Ghana cedis. Then he said he has another son who was in primary 6. I said that will be 400 cedis. He agreed. Then I told him that he needs to get Moto to come and pick me in my house every day, 3 times in a week. He agreed. Fortunately, there is a man just close to us whose wife needed some adult education. So the man contacted me and said somebody has been teaching the wife, but the wife wasn't grabbing the content. So he wanted me to teach the wife. And they were paying the man, the teacher who was doing it then 350 cedis. So I began. That class I wake up 5 is 5 to 6. I do it. And that man was paying me well. 300 cedis. Sometimes he can pay me twice in a month. He can just pay me like beginning of the month. By 15th, you pay me for next month again. The man, he said the wife said she was understanding the thing. Now, I got additional 2 classes in town. My classes were all 200 cedis, nothing less than 200 cedis. So we were doing admission for one of the academic years. A woman came from Accra. She was administrator in Accra Polytechnic, but the spouse is a pastor. So they transferred them to Pando. So we're doing the admission and they came. So the wife said she also worked in the educational sector. So she asked my colleague, oh, which university did you attend? She mentioned. I said UCC. Then the woman said, oh, she also attended UCC. Then she asked me which program I read. I was also always proud with my mathematics background. Then the wife gave me their number to come and see her. But if I'm coming, I should bring my UCC certificate. They would like to see. I was going that day. I took my certificate along. They didn't even see the certificate. And they said, oh, they've been organizing classes for their son in Accra. So they want me to start with it. I said, no problem. 250. Bro, see, in a month, those days, my net that was less than 300 cedis. These classes I was doing, I make like 1,500.
Wow.
I was using this to supplement the little that I was getting. The final thing I did was that, hey, I can see that the final thing I did, I know her very well. She's my sister. One of the things I have also done was that, my school, we have this large population. So always our BC candidates are 50 and above. One of the things I did? This is la course that they've been doing for these students.
Yeah.
I've never done that before. I was just there one day and the thought came that I can do this la course. So I contacted one of my friends who contested for SRC position in UCC. He's Charles.
Okay.
I contacted him. I said, when he was doing his campaign, I saw them wear some Lacoste. Then he said a friend of his from Kumasi help
He's
him
doing
to
it.
good. So he connected me to his friend in Kumasi. And the friend went to ask for the prices of the Lacoste for me. As at that time, if you buy Lacoste from the like in bulk, it's around 13, some are 13, depending on the quality. The highest quality was 15 cedis.
Okay.
So I sat down and deduced some nice strategy. And I went to my class first. My students were about 100. And I told them that I'll be doing the Lacoste for them, highest quality. And you see the way they write our nicknames at the back. I told them this time we'll be writing the nickname at the front here. And we're going to use embroidery. They were so happy. I told them this. They bought the idea. I told them Lacoste will be 40 Ghana cedis. They accepted. Then I began to move to different schools. That year, I sold about over 300 Lacoste to BEC candidates. And do you know what I did to capture most teachers? Because I was in the game. I'll tell you the price for each Lacoste is 40 cedis, but I will take 35 cedis. So
You
on
take
each
5.
yard, I'll give them 5 cedis. Come and see. Students were so happy, man. Bro. And I didn't.
So you are sharing, you are even sharing business ideas now. Teachers, don't steal this business idea. This is for me. This one is mine. Please, I'm going to do it.
Those who knew me, they know. I still have some pictures of the Lacoste. I can post it on my page for people to see. Now, one good thing was that I didn't even have money. I don't have to use my money to buy the Lacoste because the students have already paid 50% of the money. People pay 20 CD, 30 CDs. They pay some requested for 2. When I took these monies from the students, that was what I sent to the guy in Kumasi. Then he used that to buy the Lacoste, sent it for embroidery and all those things. So no, in that time I made a lot of money, and the admission that I made at York University was a money from the Lacoste business.
My goodness.
I got money from the Lacoste business and submitted that application on that fateful day. So these were certain things that I have done that really changed the dynamics.
Guys, you see, if you had done some of these things and trying to use those monies to start building a house, all of that, you wouldn't be able to face the dream you are facing today.
No.
So sometimes, like we were saying, you need to click the pause button, boom, for like a year or 2 years, solve the problems you are surrounded with, and then find some space to take some steps. Somebody says, this is Rita again. Rita said, one thing I've learned is that real comfort comes with the things we do outside teaching as extra means of raising income. It's difficult and stressful, but it's worth it. It's true. It's true. I mean, every part of the world, if you are doing anything outside your job and it's fetching you something, it brings satisfaction. You know, the thing is, nobody is controlling you on that. You have the pace. Who else is getting motivated? Everybody, including myself.
And do you know, based on that message from Rita, you see, teaching may not be lucrative in the classroom, but if you add just a bit of sense to it, you can make money. I thought the Water Ghana company's manager in Pando, I taught 2 of his children. Do you know what I did? Along way, I've deduced some nice strategy to convince parents.
Okay.
The woman and the spouse from Accra, the water company man, he became a good friend.
Okay.
If you contact me to teach your kids, I'll tell you that this is how I do it. When I introduce the topic, and your son, or let me just say your ward has grabbed the content or the basic content, what I do is that I go to BEC past questions.
Okay.
We will solve BEC past questions under that particular topic. So I'll not be giving you unnecessary examples for us to solve, but I'll give you past BEC questions. Once you tell parents this, they are so happy. They are happy. So it's difficult to start, but you just need some, how will I even say it, some nice strategies to convince them to accept what we are coming to do. And that man, like the waterways manager, they treat me so well. If I go there, see, those days I was frustrated. They will give me yogurt with biscuit and some things I have to enjoy. That woman from Accra, every day they are giving me drinks. Every day, they are from Accra. Every day they give you gifts and stuff. And those people, once you begin to associate yourself with them, they advise you to do this, to do that, and bro, that's it.
All right. So somebody says I should ask you this before I continue. There is one question that I'm really looking up to, which will be our last question, which is very important to me. He says, touch on how you finally hit the ground running in Canada. Do you want to talk about that?
Why not? Why not? Well, okay. Let me go back a bit. When I was coming to Canada, I knew things were going to be so challenging.
Okay.
I psyched my mind on that because I never knew anybody in Canada. Okay. I don't have any friend. I don't have anybody in Canada. So when I was coming to Canada, I don't even know how the town is even going to look like.
Yeah.
I've never traveled out of Ghana before. Kotoka, I saw nice people joining the plane and stuff. I was even crying from Kotoka until we reached Egypt because things have gone through and God gave me the breakthrough and stuff like that. The people I saw in the plane with me, Charlie, white, beautiful women were serving me, poor guy, and stuff like that, Charlie. So we landed in Egypt. I made transit from Egypt to Canada. It took about 11 hours from Egypt to Canada.
Okay.
And I was asking myself, where am I going? When the plane now finally got to Canada and was trying.
Bismarck, I think you had a call again or something. So
yeah, sorry. Somebody was calling me. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
I think similar thing is happening again.
Check it and see. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Oh.
You can just decide to.
I think you did something and it came. No, it hasn't come. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but maybe you cannot.
I can't hear you.
Oh man. Just wipe the screen and come back and let's see.
Yes, it has. I'm here.
Okay, now proceed. All right.
So, when the plane was trying to land, how beautiful Canada is. Bro, it looks so beautiful. And I was thanking God, I want to land and go through the immigration processes. Already somebody connected me to one guy who rented for me and gave me the address. So he told me what I need to do. So when I landed, I finished everything, I came to one place. And that is where I need to pick my taxi to my home. I saw these Benz, Charlie, big. The cars they use for taxi is not what their president is even using in Ghana.
Yeah.
Like when they were coming, they were so beautiful. I said, what, Charlie? I came, rang the bell, they brought me in. I knew nobody.
Yeah.
So this is the phone. This is the phone I brought here. I still have the phone. So I knew some things I need to do.
Okay.
So I Googled the places. And here you can't pick taxi and you pay by cash. Everything is online. So I took taxi that fateful Monday to just a nearby place that was about 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and I paid 280 something Ghana cedi from the money they deducted. I said, what? I did those basic things. I did my social insurance number registration. I got SIM card. I got phone. Then I began to put certain things in place before I go to school. I did that and I started looking for a job. Bro, it took me months to get a job. It took me 7 months to get a job. And to be sincere, because I don't know anywhere. If you meet, nobody is even on the street walking. Everybody is in car.
Okay.
If once I move out from the house, I'm just going around. Before I realize I got missing. I don't know anyway. And the places look so beautiful. I get
Somebody,
out.
so, Bismarck, I'm not cutting you, but somebody asked an interesting question. And let me say this, Bismarck will soon be organizing a webinar on his page. It is going to be multiple days where he will teach from start to finish, A to Z, how you are able to get your school admissions or even prepare for your school admissions, how to get admission, how to prepare yourself for visa interviews if there are any, and how to get yourself acquainted with the process. But just we can touch on this that Mr. Benjamin is asking. He says, before leaving Ghana, what is the secret behind getting the admissions to the school in Canada? What was the secret?
There was no secret, bro. There was no secret. What did I do? It just I first wanted to submit my admission to University of British Columbia.
Okay.
After doing the application, I needed to pay the application fee in Ghana city. Equivalent was 1,500.
Okay.
I said, what? I only application alone 1,500. And I keep on searching. I got University of Saskatchewan. I submitted application to University of Saskatchewan. That was my second application I did. The first one was York University.
Okay.
That's where I submitted the application. I used my senior high school certificate. I used my diploma certificate and transcript, degree certificate and transcript. And
your university and your mathematics transcript.
Yes. Okay. Even college, I did maths and technical program. I did special program. So college, senior high school, university. And fortunately, I have some good CV too. Because I occupy some positions in the teaching. Just normal position we occupy and some other things. So I was able to get some nice CV. Then I submitted the application. That's it. That was what I did. And I got the admission. Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say here, viewers, Bismarck will organize a program. There are many people trying to ask more about the journey to Canada and all of that. I think many are interested in that. Very soon, myself, I've already said it. Bismarck will organize that on his page, and I will be sharing it on my page as well. So you would see it, and then you can register to join. He will share from A to Z what you need before you even start, what you need in the process, what you need where to apply for schools, win scholarships or half scholarship or partial scholarships, what you need to apply for visa, and how you can go through the visa processes and all of that. Bismarck is going to share all of that. So I would please wish that we stick to this discussion and then we can shift there on your page or on your webinar next time. My very last question.
Wait, before you ask the last question, when I shared the post, when you first dropped the flyer, the video, one of my followers said she can't wait. And I told her that when she comes, she should wave me. I would like to see her.
Oh, okay.
It's somebody we've never met, but she's always under my comments.
So is she here?
She's here. Mama Ganseriam. She said,
oh, tell Efo Bismarck. Mama Ganseriam says hi. Oh, I see.
I told her to wave me.
He said, please, kindly, for those of us who have chosen what is available, what can we do to break free from? No, we would come to that. We would come to that.
So please go on.
So this is what I want to ask. Okay. I know time is not rewindable. You cannot go back in time. However, let's assume you went back 10 years into your 10 years of teaching life in Ghana. What are the major things, the major things you would have really changed or amend, and how would you have done them?
Thank you. The first thing I'll do, should I go back to Ghana Education Service today and start all over? The first thing I'll do is that if I receive my salary at the end of the month, even if they are paying me 5 cedis, every month I have to save 1 cedi out of that money. And that money, there is no way I'm going to touch it.
Okay.
No matter how small or big the money is, savings should be number one priority. That is number one. Number two, if I truly wanted to do something,
Yeah.
I'm not going to start giddy like that.
Yeah.
You see, with time, it's just that there are a lot of things I can share. I went to a whole regional education office when I wanted to apply for my visa. I went to regional education office requesting them to give me an introductory letter to the Canadian embassy to
Yeah.
apply for visa.
Yeah.
When I went to one particular room, the officer in the room who's supposed to handle my issue, when I give him the admission letter, he quickly took me outside. Then he asked me, who gave me this idea to travel outside and I've gotten admission to? Who gave me the idea? If I go back, I should go and thank that person. Then he asked me to watch around. Have I seen any good car? I said no. Then he tells me that if somebody had given him that advice, he wouldn't be here until I'll come and meet him. The second thing I'll say, I'm trying to say is that before I will do something, I have to see the lives of the people in that particular institution, in that particular school I'll be teaching at. That will be the second thing. The third thing is what I want to do. I must go back and pursue that. It's very, very, very important. If you miss these three links or these three specific things I have indicated, it's likely I'll commit the same mistakes again. Savings is key. Seeing the lives of the people around you, pursuing what you intend to do. These three things, no doubt about it. I have to do that. Then the fourth thing, being a teacher doesn't necessarily mean your friends should be teachers.
Okay.
I would want to
that's really a big issue when it comes to teachers.
Yes, I would like to associate myself with other people. You see, during my process, nobody helped me to do it. I was just doing my thing. I went to Accra to write IELTS based on what I was doing first.
Yeah.
When I went there, the people I saw, those people had the greatest impact in my life. I just started doing the thing. What I was doing, I don't really know what I was doing. I was just trying, using Google, when I went to the IELTS center in Osu, and I met people who came to write IELTS. See, that changed everything around me. That gave me the faith. You see, sometimes they say that faith doesn't make it possible.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, faith doesn't make it easier, but it makes it possible. The people I saw, those people were my inspiration. If I go back, I would have been associating myself with people from other sectors who are doing well. Because once you associate yourself with people who are doing well, they
You
change
pick
your
some
mindset.
intelligence. Yeah.
They change your mindset. It changes your thought. So those are some things I will do.
Okay. So the final one, assuming you have all teachers placed in front of you, your colleagues, let's say they are struggling to make a change, they are struggling to figure things out, and some are struggling to really find their feet on the ground. What do you have to tell them? What is the message? Before then, let me come to this guy. He says, I am a security guard currently and a computer science student in Accra Technical University. I used a similar mechanism to raise my admission fee in just 6 months. At my workplace, I heard a lot of people or a lot of my colleagues and other people complain about the scarcity of food whenever they went to buy food. My job was just to make simple research about the food they crave. Interestingly, I found out they crave eating rice and beans. I arranged a merge with a friend who knows how to cook. So it means he made that and had a business out of that. So somebody has summarized what you said: savings, patience, consistent in your dreams, your environment. Fit doesn't make things easier, but possible. I would wait for your response. What do you think you would have told your colleague teachers who are going through trauma, going through pain, going through series of challenges and trying to get their feet on the floor or on the ground? What would you say?
Number one, stop those things that they are doing. They should stop taking the loans. They should give themselves just 2 years, as I have given myself, just 2 years. The loans should finish on their payslip. They should start life after that. Once you take one loan, it messes everything. So they should do away with the loan. Number two, each of us had a dream we intend to pursue back in senior high school.
Yeah.
We should go back to that dream.
And
those
revisit
dreams
it.
are actually the best. We should go back to those dreams and make it possible. Number three, those who are here to do their degrees, don't rush to do 5 months degree, 6 months degree, do good degree. There are 1,001 universities overseas who are looking for people to come and study their masters and what have you and get a scholarship. I think I shared a lot of that on my page before, I think December or November, there are about 1,001 schools are looking for people or international students to come and study. They should relax, do proper degree, use those degrees to study at the international level. It doesn't mean that once you study at the international level, your life will transmogrify within the shortest possible time. But at least you have had that exposure. You've had exposure. That exposure alone, if you go back to your home country, will do a lot of magic for you.
Sure.
That is what I'll say. Then finally, you see, there are two things that cage us as teachers. One, our thought, or in different perspective, the kind of people around us. They should disassociate themselves from the old friends that they are keeping, who are already prisoners in Isawam. They should do themselves away from those people and begin to have positive or build positive relationships that can do a lot of good to them. These are the things I'll tell them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bismarck, for coming on this show, spending 1 hour, 31 minutes. That's massive, and I am appreciating that because I know a lot of people have been blessed with ideas. And to me, if we utilize these ideas, it wouldn't take more than a year to begin to see some changes. Like I always say, your life is your life. If you fail at the end of your life, when you grow old, society will outcast you. Society will not say there were circumstances that made you fail. We won't sit down. You see, as we sat here, we did not discuss how Bismarck has failed. We discussed how Bismarck went out of failure. So if you don't come out of failure and you remain in your failure, we will not be able to discuss you in the future. We will only say bad things about you and all of that. Like we said in the beginning, we did not hold this meeting to discuss the bad things about teachers, to undermine teachers, but we just wanted to show that there is hope for the hopeless. We, those coming from the medium, poor, low background, and whatever background, we can find our feet if only we are determined and we can stay calm and be patient to pursue our goals. I think, like I said, very soon, Mr. Bismarck is going to organize a webinar so that he can teach everybody who want to learn how to go through the process of studying abroad, not only in Canada, but in the US, Australia, and other countries, and even also teaching jobs. So he has got some links, genuine links that can also help you to do it on your own. You see, to do it on your own. So when the time comes, I would plead that you join, register, and have a way through so that your life can also be blessed. Thank you very much for having us. Thank you very much, Mr. Bismarck, for having you. I think we can end from here. And
my closing remarks to everybody. What I would like to tell everybody is that our society is full of negativity. In every society, people will judge you based on what you have done yesterday. What you have done well, what you haven't done well, what you sought to do, and what you refuse to do. These things should not prevent us from taking risk. Let's take risk. And sometimes, if you begin to do something that will change your life, something that will progress your life, you are going to hit a lot of challenges. Those challenges are not things that will indicate to you that what you are seeking for, you don't worth it.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
challenges are things that are going to build you up.
Yeah.
So we need to adapt with those circumstances as soon as possible and use those things to be able to discover ourselves. And by God's grace, everybody can achieve his or her goals.
That's true.
Thank you so much for hosting me. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Benjamin, please, you have a question, but I plead with you if you can send to us privately. You have my number, I'm sure. So you can send me a message and we can hold it up from there. Mr. Bismarck is also on Facebook as Bismarck Masego, right?
Bismarck Doche.
Okay, so you can find him on Facebook or LinkedIn or on other social media handles. You can follow him. He shares so much inspiration, so much messages, so much opportunities on his page, and I think all of us can be blessed. See you again another time.
Thank you.